All right, super excited to be here. As you all know, I posted a video and mentioned Gatsby in that video, and I've had a number of people ask me, what does Gatsby do? How do they help grow brands? So I figured instead of me bumbling through it, I would bring the man, the founder of Gatsby and my friend for the last couple of years, Brett, onto the call and explain what they do in a second. But first, Brett,
Yeah.
how did you start Gatsby? Talk to me about the premise. Tell us the story.
Yeah, Scott. By the way, thank you for mentioning Gatsby and bringing me on. And it's, partnering with you and Hawk has always been great. So I started Gatsby actually just a few blocks away from the Hawk office back in the day. It was 2016. So you guys have since moved since then, but it was based in LA. I'm now in San Diego. There was a concept though that I came across back in 2016, and this is kind of like the original origin story, that was very, very expensive for brands to run. It was this marketing strategy where you could actually develop a vending machine, a physical vending machine, place it in front of your new store. And when people walked by the machine, they could pull out their phones, like Old Navy did this. You pull out your phone, you tweet about Old Navy, and you would get an immediate free item from the vending machine.
You're kidding me.
That was the beginning of Gatsby, if you can believe it. Like right now, we're going to talk about in just a minute, like Gatsby is going to help clients with their list growth right before Black Friday. If this airs in time for Black Friday, we'll be able to help you convert your Instagram followers into your email and SMS subscribers, into your loyalty members, right? But it all started like 9 or 8 years ago on a vending machine concept, if you can believe it. So that's kind of a very, very quick high level of how it all started.
And then you evolved into this software that helps grow e-commerce brands, right?
Totally. Yeah. We actually ended up getting a contract to place this like social media vending machine from a major mall in Los Angeles. And then, so I had a background in vending. I had a background in enterprise software. I was at Box for a few years. I had a vending machine business. I started out of college, but I looked at the numbers, like the projections, and I was like, what am I doing going back to this vending machine concept when there's enterprise software right in front of me? And there's a real need here to help brands manage social media, specifically, converting their customers into their owned channels, right? Like email and SMS. Because I'm sure everybody listening to this today, if you have an e-commerce brand, you're probably spending a lot of money on Instagram ads, TikTok ads, other ads on social media. And you spend all that money and time and energy in the content and the targeting there, but it doesn't ever connect to your main channels that you can actually attribute all of that ongoing content and revenue from, which is email and SMS. You have to own that contact, and that follower on Instagram, as much as you might like having them today, they're not very sticky. You don't post for a while, you post too much, you post the right thing, you lose that follower. Get them into your email and SMS database, whether it be Klaviyo, Attentive, Yachtpost, SendLane, OmniSend, or others. And all of a sudden you have that relationship in your back pocket.
Yeah, that's all. So I just did a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, cut out the BS. And I was on a panel talking about how to grow sales. And we talked about how to grow your email list. So this definitely will go out before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I'd love to just dive right into the meat. How do you guys do this? And if you want to share your screen, if you just want to talk us through it, either way is totally fine. But how do you and let me finish real quick. How do we take someone who's running these Instagram ads, Facebook ads, building a list, getting sales, and then they have to pay for that client all over? How do you do that where you convert this 50,000 people, 250,000 people of followers into email lists that now you own? You don't have to pay to reach out to them again.
I think I want to give a little bit of background on our Klaviyo relationship and what our integration does historically. I think that will be a really good tie-in to how this naturally came to be. There's nothing like, someone might hear, oh, convert Instagram follower into an email, like get their email. Is anything shady happening here? There's not. This is all through an opt-in process, but it takes place directly in the Instagram DMs. And so the history here is, after we pivoted from that vending machine concept, we quickly got into e-commerce, and our first enterprise client back in the late 2010, 2017, 18 area was Steve Madden. And they were moving to Klaviyo. And they said, hey, Brett, we found your little baby Shopify app that can tell us some Instagram data about people, about our customers. Can you get this Instagram data, like follower counts, into Klaviyo? And that kicked off the whole relationship here. So the idea was, let's get Instagram content into Klaviyo so that you can start to segment people based on how influential they are, right? or if they follow you, or if they tag you in content. So we have this amazing like piping system from Instagram data into Klaviyo, and then Attentive and Loyalty Lion and Stamped and Yotpo, right? So this whole foundation exists. Then earlier this year in 2024, the whole solution came together because we realized there's one missing piece to this equation, and it's actually acquiring the subscriber from Instagram in the first place. So the way this works, I'll share my screen now. Let me know, Scott, when you can see it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Cool. So right here on our homepage, Gatsby.AI, and this changes often, but if you're seeing this pretty soon, you're going to see something like this. And I'm going to dig into this specific case study, which is right here under our customers tab. And if you're familiar with Kulani Kini's and Pura Vida, these two companies teamed up and they created a product together. It was a collaboration product. And while Kulani Kini's has over 1 million followers and Pura Vida, I think, has even more, they wanted to go and target a new audience to help promote this new product line together. So you can see here, they created Instagram stories and Instagram reels as advertisements, targeted the audience, and the call to action was DM us this phrase, Summer Souls, to join our SMS list. And now Kulani Kini's is our client, and so they're the ones that put this on. Yeah. And you can see right here in the story and the reel, there's actually a prompt to send that DM message right there. So there's the call to action. There's the way to facilitate it. When that consumer DM'd the phrase Summer Souls, there was an automatic response set up through Gatsby that sent out to that consumer. Say, hey, reply with your phone number to be the first ones to shop the Kulani Kini's Pura Vida collab. Now, as soon as that consumer replies with their phone number, again, this is just through Instagram DMs.
Yeah, and like a chat bot, right?
Well, this is
automatic.
Yeah, this is the consumer, and this is the chat bot.
And the thing I like about this, if you just scroll back for a second, is, and I tell people this all the time, make it super easy for your customers. So for them to opt in, they just click the button, send the message, right? Yeah. And everything pulls up. So it's really a call to action button that you click that starts a conversation that's automated from the Gatsby side that tells people to drop their phone number in.
Correct. And it could be email address or phone number, by the way.
Cool.
So Gatsby is listening here and saying, okay, well, when we receive a phone number from this consumer, respond back with this final message here. And this is actually linked to their Klaviyo in this case, but it could also be linked to the Attentive or the Yotpo database as well. So they're actually subscribing to SMS. This will then send, that reply yes to confirm. Like all of that comes in from Klaviyo at that point. So in this case, let me get rid of this little thing.
Yeah, do it.
The Kulani Kini's client, they did this as a 4-day test. It was their first time testing this functionality, and they did 4 days, $200 a day. And you can see here their acquisition cost and what they developed here. So they were very happy with this result for cost of acquisition of a new SMS subscriber in Klaviyo. They had this many new SMS subscribers from the ad, and again, they only spent $800 on Meta ads to get that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We can actually see in this case study.
And that's just 4 days. That's just 4 days, right?
Just 4 days, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So 236 people in your SMS list in 4 days. That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can see the setup process. The setup time was very quick. Like usually it's under 10 minutes. We have clients go live every day. And when we hop on a call with them, it's usually a 30-minute call and they're off to the races. Cool. So you can see this is a 2-step process. This is Gatsby. This is a screenshot from Gatsby. And all you do is you say, okay, what is the keyword you're listening for? And it's not case sensitive. So it's, you can do whatever capitalizations, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. This is the reply. So keyword reply, that's it. And then the second one is when you receive an email address, which you don't see from the screenshot, but it's just a little option up here, reply with this. This is customizable. You can preview it here in the Gatsby environment. And then they created the meta ad after that.
Yeah, and this is awesome. And so you can run the same exact play to build your email list as well. And it's really hard to get people to build up that SMS list, right? We say if 100 people are opting into email, maybe 20% of those opt into SMS. Right. So this is a harder collect. If you're doing email addresses, it probably would have even bigger numbers.
Well, let's look at another example then. This is an email one, right? So Lingua Franca, fashion brand out of I know their headquarters is in the West Village in Manhattan. I've actually
Mm-hmm.
been there. Really cool. They have an awesome product, high-end, customizable. And you can see here, they actually ran a giveaway. So if we look here, they posted this Instagram post a couple of days after Taylor Swift launched her last album. And if you remember, like, it was the Tortured Poet Department. That was the name of the album. So they actually had a connection to one of the songs because of the Hotel Chelsea. And so they created this whole line of products around this. They said, "Hey, modern idiots," right? It was a reference to Taylor Swift's song. "Enter to win all of our new collection." And they just posted a couple stories to their current audience, right? Their current followers. And here's the stories they posted. Again, the send message is right there. But even furthermore, if you just look at the post, people also commented the word poet, and that works as well. So commenting the keyword will also work in addition to the DM. And you can see here, same thing. Poet's the keyword, reply with this. When they send their email address, reply with this. And I was just going to show here, then it kicks off and puts them directly into that brand's welcome series. So this is their normal welcome flow from Klaviyo. Then this is an extra email flow from the giveaway. And the reason you can do that is because inside of Klaviyo or Attentive or Yotpo or others, we are syncing over all of these attributes from Instagram, including the keyword that you sent. So I don't have a screenshot from the Lingua Franca's Klaviyo account. This is like kind of a stand-in, but you can see here, imagine you would see the word poet because that's the keyword I sent to enter. So therefore in Klaviyo, and you know this very well from working with your clients, you could segment everybody from whichever campaign they engaged with directly in Klaviyo.
Oh, this is pretty awesome. When you're working with a client, are you helping them come up with these ideas? You say you jump on a client, you 30 minutes. Are you just helping them with the setup, and the business is charged to come up with the ideas on what kind of promotions to run?
So it comes down to, there's really 3 primary strategies for list growth. There's the advertising one I mentioned with Kulani Kinis. There's giveaways. And then there's a third one. Let me pull up like Bailey's CBD as an example. You can see in their bio, they're putting this right here, which is like an evergreen offer. So really the initial launch comes down to one or all 3 of those strategies. But what you can see is once you start collecting Instagram or collecting email and SMS subscribers from Instagram, that data comes into Klaviyo, and then we're now keeping that individual in sync from that point forward. So inside of a Gatsby account, we're always going to be showing you their profile photo, how many followers they have, if they follow you, the keywords they've sent, when they last commented, how many times they've tagged you. We're showing you all of the media items that they've published about you as well. And that syncing is happening and taking place in Klaviyo and Attentive and others, so that you can actually trigger flows when a customer mentions you on Instagram or follows you. So just collecting the subscriber is part 1, and the strategies really compound when you start to bring in Klaviyo flows to that.
No, this is awesome. I'm just super excited. Every time I jump on your website, I see new stuff coming out. I think this is really cool. Talk to me about who this would be a good fit for. I mean, how many, like, what does your average client look like? If someone has 5,000 Instagram followers, it might be less of a opportunity than someone who's got 50,000 or 100,000. But just talk to me about who's your ideal customer? Like, who do you really crush it out of the park with? What type of businesses and what size?
Sure. So Shopify is not a requirement to use Gatsby. There are some Shopify specific features, but e-commerce in general, it tends to be our most common type of client, although we are branching into restaurants as well, especially through our loyalty integrations. So being able to trigger loyalty points for social media engagement is pretty big. Also, Klaviyo is not a requirement because we have integrations with other tools, like I mentioned as well, like Attentive and Yotpo and SendLane. However, if you are a Shopify Klaviyo customer, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like that is sort of our like bread and butter. Beyond that, though, brands that lend themselves to social media marketing tend to do better, obviously, as well. So like we have clients that range the gambit, but if you're selling a visually appealing product, fashion, beauty, skincare, dogs, things like that, they tend to do really well. But it's not exclusively for that. And then as far as size goes, we offer functionality that would help brands of all sizes. Like when you connect Gatsby to Instagram, you also have full social listening. You can understand who's engaging with your content. So there's value just out of the box, and our plans start relatively low. However, like we really focus on clients that are doing at least a few $1 million a year in revenue.
Yeah.
Some of our clients are doing upwards of $1 billion. We have multinational conglomerates, all that stuff. So it ranges pretty big. But if you're a brand new company, you might be better served focusing, more on some of the foundational stuff first, and then bring Gatsby in once you have that organic engagement coming in.
Yeah. So if you have your email, your welcome series kind of built out, you already have some flows, you've got a decent or growing following on social media, and you want to leverage that, look up Gatsby.AI, ping Brett in the comments below, and connect with his team. I could tell you all from my experience, Brett's team's awesome. I've been talking with them for over 2 years, referred a number of people over. I think it's a no-brainer if you guys are really looking to grow your email, SMS list, and have a social following. So technology is always moving so fast, and I feel like Brett's at the forefront of this and has the integrations. It's pretty easy tool to use. He showed me the back end a couple times. I'm like, man, this is pretty simple. So Brett, anything else you want to just leave with the people watching today before we sign off?
I want to get ahead of one of the questions we get often, which is around SMS, like disclosure language, right? So when I showed some examples, those were some, it's up to the brand. You guys can definitely include like all of the different opt-in language you want in the automated responses. You can start to include that, in Klaviyo properties. You can add forms. So there's definitely lots of like ways to leverage this if you're in Europe or other countries as well, where you have different requirements. So we basically facilitate the technology, and then you can use it for a whole different bunch of ways that you want to use it. So that's one thing I want to mention. And then secondly is there's a free trial, 7 days on our website. Contact us for support getting set up. We will definitely be there to help you. And thirdly, I'm not sure when this will officially go live, but assuming it's late September or early October, there is still time to leverage this to grow your list before Black Friday. Like I mentioned, some clients can go live within 30 minutes, maybe budget a couple of days, all said and done, to get everything organized, and then run a giveaway. You'll be collecting some portion of your followers in as new subscribers.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll get it out. We'll get it out pretty quickly. Maybe before October is the ideal time. But Brett, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate everything that you're doing, and looking forward to you helping some people out during this holiday season.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, take care.